It's fine. We've been living in a camper and a cabin for coming up on 2 years, so yeah. It's just, it ain't a big deal.
Nah, you can't scare us at this point.
Munchkin, what?
Welcome back to the channel. We're back at the property this week, working on some side projects.
Snow is going
downhill fast.
Quick. We're going to be in the 50s later on this week. That'll help us be able to just drive back and forth from property to property instead of the snow machine, and then loading the snow machine in the truck and driving the truck. Shortly after that, we'll be able to get the camper over here, and then we'll just be living here, working on the cabins.
Levi's dad's out of town this week, so we're kind of focusing on some things where we don't need a three-man show to build the cabin.
Getting lots of daylight. It's, I mean, there's still a glow in the sky at 11 o'clock at night, so.
Yeah, it's getting to be the busy season up here, so.
Do you think?
Yeah.
You ready to get to work?
Get to work. You guys are a lot of talk, not a lot of action. You can't go through this. Before the baby comes. Henry and I are hanging out at the cabins today. Levi's at the property assessing a little bit of the snow situation. It is getting really rough to travel back and forth. We're losing our ramp for putting the snow machine in the truck, and just really thinking we're gonna end up planted here at the cabins here pretty soon. But speaking of plants, mine are doing super well. I upgraded a few to some bigger jugs. Lettuce is a little droopy. I don't know if that's normal for lettuce or if it's just fighting for sunlight. I'm working with what I got on pretty much everything. I finally have some peppers popping up. Marigolds are also super happy. So it's really cool to see. I am really running out of space. I'm going to have to probably tone down. I don't really know. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them all.
Gonna organize this Connex, build a workbench, try to build a workbench. We'll see how it turns out. But we've got, I don't know if you can see that, but we've got all the windows leaned up on this side all the way the length of the Connex. They're gonna be there for quite a while before we're using them. So I'm gonna try and move all the windows to the back so that we don't have any kind of accidents happen. I think it'll be safer like this than they were, and hopefully as we start using some other stuff out of here, we can kind of make even more room for them. Something like that.
It's a pretty sad little guy.
What happened?
He just got stuck. 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 He just got stuck happened?
Where did it come from?
Remember you brought it to me the other day? See, I feel like I need to get this one better. You know? For a fence at least.
I think it's pretty good.
How crazy are you gonna go over a fence? I think you're right though, that's a good woodshed one.
Yeah, I think so.
They all gotta get peeled and these pants gotta get dirtied.
Whatever you need. Yeah. Whatever.
Okay. Now they're looking like good pants. I know.
Up there and we can hang.
Do like a pegboard kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh, honey.
What?
All brown on your white pants from scooting on the log.
Simba. You told me.
I didn't know.
Hi. We've gotten a bunch of questions about the cabin that I was going to go ahead and try and answer. I try and answer throughout videos, but figured it'd take some time to answer some questions.
I
So
think the number one question we get is how big the cabin's going to be.
yes, so the floor is 20 by 24.
Yep. 20 feet wide, 24 feet long. And then there's going to be a half loft, so it'll be 12 feet by 20 feet with a like 2-foot pony wall in there, so give a little bit more headroom.
So the loft will be basically an A-frame, and a pony wall is just adding a couple extra logs so that it's not a perfect triangle.
It comes to a perfect point. There's a little bit of wall there.
Yeah, a little bit of wall there. We're gonna have big trapezoid windows here with 2 windows and a big French door. So this is gonna be like all window, which we're aware that'll kill some heat.
It's gonna take a little bit of heat, but that's also south facing. So in the winter time, when we only have a couple hours of daylight, and we noticed it this winter being over here, we're gonna have sunlight coming right in those windows, which is gonna be awesome on those short winter days.
Yes.
So it'll be good for getting seeds started. This time of year.
Yes.
In those windows, they'll get a lot of sun. So.
Yeah. We're gonna have the kitchen is gonna be behind Levi here. It's gonna be everything's gonna be relatively small. It'll be a total of 720 square feet. We'll have some kitchen space here. Then we'll have kind of where you guys are, a little bit of a shower space. We're gonna have a kids room. Will kind of be on this side where there's gonna be like a staircase right around here that goes up to the loft.
Yep.
Around here-ish will be the wood stove.
Yep, wood stove, and then
do
just
like a couch
or whatever there.
over here. I'd like kind of maybe like a bench or shelf under that window.
Yeah, we're gonna do like almost like a peninsula coming off of the countertop, kind of like an island peninsula, bar top, whatever. And instead of having a kitchen table, so that'll come out here-ish, and we'll have some stools to kind of sit there instead of also having a kitchen table.
Yes, so it'll be like countertop / I can sew on it. You can.
Yeah, it'll just be a good workspace. For
like
whatever.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. We're gonna have that burl post. Is probably gonna be like somewhere here.
Yeah.
Going up.
Where the stairs go up.
Yeah.
Right here. Somewhere.
If you watched previously, it's basically the same size as your parents' cabin that they live in, but it's obviously the posts. The floor is a lot closer to the ground. It's not gonna have that full walk-in basement. We just feel like that makes the cabin too tall. It feels more like a tower than a cabin.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be a little closer, but you can still crawl around under there to insulate and store some stuff if you want.
If they get too tall and then you gotta clean your stovepipe or get up there for any reason, it's freaking way off the ground.
Yeah. So.
And the closer to the ground it is, it'll be a little more stable versus being so high up in the air. But
Yep.
overall, I think we settled on a good height. We can crawl around under there, but we're not way off the ground. It picks us up enough. We've got some snow piles plowed up right here, but the pond's all right there. And then looking out the creek to the lake that's further down, and we obviously still have a lot of trees to cut, but it's going to be a gorgeous view when it's done.
Yeah, once the trees are cut, it's going to be beautiful, and leaves will pop up. It's really getting, the vision's coming together.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to get crazy good sunlight all summer. We got the logs from Timberline Sawmill in Palmer, Alaska. I've said that a few times. They have a whole website that I will link. They're really awesome to work with. We just did the DIY package with them. We'll see how fast it goes up at this point. I mean, we're taking some time off from it this week, but when your dad gets back,
it's going to slow down a little bit. I mean, we're pretty much 3 rows up all the way around on average. We're 4 rows up there. Once we hit the 4th row, then that's going to be where the windows are, and we're going to start building window frames and all of that stuff, and logs are going to be shorter. Instead of 2 logs making the whole run of the wall, there's going to be a lot of smaller logs. So it'll probably slow down a little bit at that point, but then it's really going to start taking shape when you can see the windows and where everything's going to go.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It'll also go faster. Once we get this workbench done, we're going to sort some logs, and if we can get things kind of sorted this week, the logs go down pretty fast, but when you've got to dig around and move a whole bunch of logs to try and find
what's next,
which one you need, because they're numbered on where they're supposed to go, then that's a lot of work moving all the logs around. So we've gotten a few questions on what we stained the floor with, and it's Olympic Water Guard transparent sealer. It was on
$7 a gallon.
Yeah, $7 a gallon versus I think it's 35 or something normal price. And it was on sale because it's older and the color pigment had separated out in the jugs. But I don't quite frankly care about the color pigment. We just wanted to protect the plywood. And
you can't beat
I
that
mean,
price.
it still works good. We dumped out a water bottle on it, and the way it beat it up and swept off, I mean, it's still really good sealer. It's just obviously very bad color.
Very ugly. But for $7 a gallon, if you've ever looked at stain or paint, we bought a bunch of that crap.
We'll use that on anything, you know. We gotta
do the
build
inside
a
of the
woodshed
outhouse.
and
Yeah, woodshed. We could use it on the moose fence if we decide to.
it rains enough here. You need a good sealer. So what happened? What's going on here?
I don't have a rag.
You take it, Mom. He freaking weighs like 700 pounds.
Tell me about it.
How old is Henry now?
We are back at the property today. All we're doing right now is sorting some logs and getting logs on the trailer out of their pallets so that when Levi's dad gets back, we're just ready to start stacking again.
Yep, we are anticipating we might be stuck at the cabin for the next few days. Things are melting big time, and we've got a stretch of plowed road and then gravel and then mud and then snow, and the snow, we're supposed to get into the mid-50s for like the next 10 days, so I think the snow is going to get rotten and start melting and not really be able to snow machine very well, but still too much snow and slush to get out in a truck. We're going to bring the four-wheeler home with us tonight, and that might be a possibility, but
we're not optimistic about the travel between places right now. We got a bunch of questions on the cabin, on us, that we were going to go ahead and answer.
Yep, answered a few the other day, but got quite a few more questions.
Got a few
since
more.
Then, so we've got, how old is Henry now?
He is a couple days past 4 months.
Yep.
Growing like a weed, very healthy, awesome little man.
Happy guy.
Happy guy.
And then, how far is the property from my parents?
It's about 5 miles on the road.
Yep. Did we buy the land from them?
Nope.
Go
ahead.
We sent out letters. Becca sent out letters. Just to vacant properties. Most of the people lived out of state. Just, you know, said who we are, a little bit about us, and that we were looking for land in this area if anybody was interested.
And we got a lot of replies.
Yes.
Very worth it if you're thinking about doing that. Send letters, because someone will say yes, and it'll be more perfect than you could have ever planned.
Yeah, I mean, I think
this is the best property.
Sent 45 letters, and we had 8 or 10 people that were interested in selling.
Yeah, I mean, we had our pick.
And we looked at a couple of places that we weren't interested in.
Mm-hmm.
This one came up, and we made an offer. They counter-offered. We accepted that, and I think 2 weeks later, 2-3 weeks later.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks on the dot, and we were closed.
Yep.
And now here we are. That was back in September.
Yeah. And what about a well? How much does it cost to buy? Oh boy, we lost them.
So what about a well? There is no well at his parents' cabins or here currently. We are going to try a sandpoint well, which is basically where you're pounding a piece of pipe into the ground with holes, and then you're pumping water. Really old school. We're going to try that here. We think we'll hit water based on the guy that dug up our gravel to do our driveway. He said it was starting to get pretty wet around like 16 feet. 18 feet. And I think you can go up to
like 60, they say.
60 feet with the pipe.
I know, we pretty much know there's water down there. It's just a matter of if we can drive the pipe without
hitting a rock.
Hitting any big rocks. We've got this glacial gravel and stuff on the property that the deeper you go, the bigger it gets, the bigger the rocks get. So
if we can avoid big rocks, we should be able to have water. That being said, it probably won't be drinking water. It's really heavy in iron around here. But a lot of people have those wells. It's way cheaper than having a professional well drilled.
Yes, and we're talking
I mean, like
$600-700 to try it.
Yes, to try the Sandpoint, where it would be like $8,000 or something to have someone come out, and we're not made of money. So.
And then, how much does it cost to buy a kit versus buying lumber for a framed house? Are both sets of parents there, or will one come and visit to meet Henry at some point?
So, kit versus stick built. Your dad's been stick building houses for 40 years, and he thinks it would have been about the same.
Yeah, I really don't know.
These logs versus stick built. These logs were a crazy good deal. We're not going to go into how much we've spent, just because we don't really feel comfortable sharing all of that online. But stick built wasn't impressively cheaper, is why we decided to go with logs. And because we're in Alaska, we wanted logs.
Yeah, just wasn't really interested in a stick-built house.
No, and the price, if I remember right, your dad was kind of saying the price differences weren't going to be enough to talk us into a stick-built. So.
Yeah. Regardless, doing it ourselves is saving us a ton of money.
Yes. No matter what, doing it ourselves is saving a lot of money. And we've got our resident expert.
Yeah, he's a pro.
He's a pro. So what was the other one?
Are both parents there? So no, my parents live here. We all moved here at the same time.
Yes.
And
my parents are still in Colorado, along with all of our other family members pretty much.
Yep.
They're in Colorado still.
Yep.
And my parents have come and met Henry, and we just didn't video it. That was like 2 weeks after he was born.
I think it was like 6 weeks.
It was like 6 weeks after he was born, that's right. But we stay pretty busy with them, so we didn't video. And they'll be back this summer to visit. They're going to visit a bunch, and we'll visit there a bunch too. So, grandparents all over the place.
We're going to add a full bathroom addition to the cabin and have the outhouse for backup.
Nope. The outhouse is the main jam.
Yep, so this should go to another question, I think, too. But we're going to have a shower.
Yes, that's a question.
Of sorts in the cabin. It's not going to be unlimited water supply. We will have kind of a camping setup, kind of instant hot water heater, just running off of propane. And then my plan right now is like an RV style water pump. So it's not going to be incredible water pressure, but basically it'll be similar to the setup in a camper. Is what our water system's going to be.
What we're picturing is kind of just a 55-gallon drum, like under the counter in the kitchen somewhere, that then has the pump in it, pumps to like a kitchen faucet, and pumps to a shower that's going to be relatively close.
Through that instant hot water heater.
Through the instant hot water heater. So you'll have running hot and cold water, but you will have to fill that 55-gallon drum.
Yep. Which will then be kind of dependent on if the Sandpoint works, then we'll have a lot more water. If that doesn't work, then we'll collect rainwater and probably haul in drinking water regardless. Can get all kinds of filters, but then...
So expensive.
That's expensive. As much iron as it sounds like there is in the water around here.
Yeah.
Especially for drinking water, it would last so long, we'll just haul it in.
Yeah, we'll haul drinking water, I'm sure. And
I know we can drink rainwater. I've got no problems with that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we will...
Melt snow.
Melt snow. There's a lot of ways to get water. We're really hopeful that Sandpoint will work, so we can have that shower and sink set up. We won't be having like a toilet or anything like that in the cabin. Just the outhouse. It would just be so expensive to go through all the septic and all that kind of stuff. And the whole point is like this off-grid, doing things relatively frugally.
I have no problem with an outhouse.
No, are you kidding? That outhouse is beautiful. And the best part is I don't have to clean a toilet. That's fabulous. So I really like the outhouse, for the record.
So will we be using solar power at the new home? And will we get animals for food, milk, eggs, etc.?
Solar, yes.
Yep, not sure exactly how big of a system we're going to go with, but it's going to be pretty minimal, pretty basic. We're not planning on having much for electricity. Some outlets, charge laptop, charge
We're going to do...
But everything's kind of going to be by hand. We're going to have a mini fridge.
Yes, mini fridge like under the counter is the plan. Because we've been in a cooler since we've been in the little cabin this winter.
Yeah.
And we've been in the camper with a camper-sized fridge forever now. We're going like 2 years of like barely any refrigeration. So under-the-counter fridge is going to be amazing.
Yeah, just real small. Just
kind of a smallish
milk
freezer.
And your real perishable stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, smallish freezer for like moose steaks, but we're going to can a lot to avoid too much freezer space. No electric heat, nothing
The nice
like that.
thing about a freezer up here is all winter.
You just unplug it.
Yeah, you can just unplug it. It doesn't.
So.
You don't need the electricity. So.
But another thing about solar up here is we're used to Colorado that has 300 days of sunshine, and that is not the case in Alaska. So there is a lot less solar power here, but it's still the minimal electrical we're going to use. It should be good. We'll have some generator days. That's no lie, but
LED lights.
yeah,
it's not that bad.
It'd be pretty minimal electrical. What was
then
the
animals.
animals? Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. In the perfect world, we'd have a family milk cow. It's not a perfect world.
We'll have some chickens.
We'll have some chickens for sure. I used to raise our Thanksgiving turkey every year. I have been vetoed on doing that this year, but next year, probably raise our Thanksgiving turkey. I love turkeys. Levi doesn't. Used to have pigs, probably anything bigger than chickens. Maybe in like years from now. Right now, I want to raise babies.
Yep.
Eat
And it's
eggs.
difficult. We want to see a lot of this state.
Yes.
And the more livestock you have, it just kind of holds you down.
It does.
Oh, goodness.
I'm a livestock person. I would just kill for cows and everything. But there's not much for grazing grass here. You know, it would be really prime for like maybe goats or pigs, but even then winter is so long up here. We want to like do a few winters and stuff before I try talking you into more than chickens, maybe some turkeys.
Right now we got enough on the plate.
Definitely chickens, and those will be coming soon. I'm going to get, I'm probably not going to raise any chicks at least before summer. I want to try and find some full-grown hens so that I can go straight into getting eggs. So that'll be soon, like as soon as we move over here. I want to start working on that, so.
Timeout. Miss Bethany, the seed sender.
Oh, thank you so much. I just picked those up, and oh, so excited. I'm going to have to build some extra cold frames for the peppers you sent, tomatoes. Spinach, I think, is a cold weather thing, so I might just try that outside. But thank you so much for the seeds, Bethany.
All right. How many square feet? How do we shower? Which we covered.
Well, so, okay, we didn't really entirely cover that. Right now we do.
That's how we're going to shower.
Right now we do go to town. There's just a public shower, which sounds gross, but quite frankly, it's phenomenal if you're the first
really
one.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're the first one in when they open. Public shower. There's a laundromat if I am like way behind on our laundry, which is often. And your parents do have a shower set up in their cabin that we just don't want to take up their space by using.
Yeah. They just heat water on the wood stove and then have
They're
just a little pump that takes, I think, D-cell batteries.
Yeah, and that's
That works.
somewhat, yeah, and we talked about how we'll have our shower. And it's going to be really basic, though. I mean, we're looking at doing like a stock tank with like a overhead.
Yeah.
We're
It's
kind of
going
going to DIY the shower, I think.
You know, on off. You turn the water on, get your hair wet, then you turn
And
it
you
off,
turn
shampoo.
it off, shampoo,
But
turn it on. But
it's fine. We've been living in a camper and a cabin for coming up on 2 years, so it's just, it ain't a big deal.
Nah, you can't scare us at this point.
Is there anything we'd do differently up to this point with the whole Alaska thing?
Off the top of my head, the first thing I'd say is what we brought up here.
Yep.
And I think everybody says that at some point when they move here.
Yep, so we had, we brought some stuff, we bought some stuff that we thought was going to be essential, and
that wasn't
at
all.
Main thing we bought was the side-by-side, and that just was not...
Just everyone has one up here, so I just was... We gotta have one, and then it was like sitting in the yard. It's a really expensive toy to just sit there. So...
Yep. Other than that...
Really, like, for what we brought, we would have left the truck that we've been loading the snow machine in, and we would have brought your Tacoma.
Yeah, we brought the wrong truck, and now in the fall we're going to be going back to get the other truck, which is...
A pain.
Really unfortunate.
But we didn't know that the other truck was going to be more useful. There's not roads here. I don't think people realize, like, there's not Pike National Forest with 42 fingers of roads going into...
There was a road in every drainage and on every ridge.
Right, and that's not the case
and
here.
And up here, there's like 3.
So we didn't think we'd want the truck that we would usually take those roads, like when we cat hunted, and it turns out we do want that truck.
Yep, it'll be really good for going to town in the wintertime.
Yes.
Just be a lot easier for bouncing on these roads.
Yep.
Back and forth from property to property than in the diesel pickup. So.
And then the truck that we just, shouldn't have brought in the first place.
Yep.
It was...
But other than that, I don't think there's much I would change. Everything's kind of...
No. Okay.
Everything's kind of shaped up.
Yeah. We would have, if we were capable and knew it was going to be the case, we would have brought our Kubota tractor.
Yeah.
We would have, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a few things, knowing what we know now, we would have swapped on bringing versus selling, but you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
With
but
the
in general,
information we had,
with Alaska,
I wouldn't change a freaking thing. I'm so grateful for your parents because it gave us a place to land and a cabin to sleep in all winter because the camper would have been flipping cold. It's all really worked out really worked out well for us. Like, we're really, really lucky to be where we're at, I think. We're in a great area. I wouldn't change that.
I really can't think of any.
No. Yesterday, I think we answered. It's a 20 by 24 half loft. There's not going to be any storage really underneath. It's going to be pretty crawl spacey, so maybe a tote or two.
Yeah, you could easily fit some totes down there, but it's not like it's going to be a basement.
Like, his parents have like a full basement, but that makes the cabin super tall, so we won't have that. But some storage down below. We're talking about building like a utility shed off to the side someday. They could hold like some propane tanks, some water, generators, but that's a thought in the wind right now.
And we did kind of cover it, talking the other day.
Otherwise, priorities this year are obviously the cabin, garden, chicken coop, woodshed are the top priorities.
Yeah.
From there, we need a ton more gravel to keep filling in our holes. We need to get wood for the winter,
We've got a ton of wood cut. It's just got to get cut up and stacked in a woodshed. It's not built yet.
Yeah, we'll have to help your dad get wood because he helped us build a cabin during prime wood season.
We'll be going dip netting, moose hunting, bear hunting.
Yeah. We've got a really busy year planned.
Thing that'll be nice though once the snow inevitably melts and we can get the camper over here. We can spend every afternoon working on stuff like the woodshed and firewood.
Yep, little here-there stuff.
Right now we get over here and it's focused on the cabin, but...
And then you look at, the clock and it's like 7 or 8 o'clock and it's still this light out. We need to go home and eat dinner.
Yeah. And like we talked about, it's only 5 or 6 miles from my parents' cabins to this property. And, the way the roads are right now and half snow machine and gravel and plowed, it's like
an hour to get.
It's like over an hour to go that 5 miles.
To go 5 miles. It's a lot. If you've lasted this long with us, I just wanted to say I am working on building us a little bit of a website where we will sell some things that we make. Down the road, I really want to sell like fur items that we make, like maybe if we get good enough at it, like beaver mittens and stuff like that. But we have to trap some beavers first, so don't get too excited about those. But I am working with my sewing machine and just going to work on a little bit of a store for us. So stay tuned for that. That's in the plans for this year. I don't have any like set open launch dates or anything like that, but I've got big plans and I just wanted to share that that'll be something we're working on. Just some things we make, some stuff for sale. Try and keep it super legit. Hides and furs. Pelts would be my main goal, but we'll see what we can cook up for you.
Right now we're trying to build a cabin.
But I just wanted to share my plans. Henry looks tired. He's about ready to go home.
He's
Zonkered. He did really good today. He got us get a lot done. Say it.
And action.
You're done.